Okay, y'all, I'm back. I'm back. Now, I'm gonna give you three stories, and I got quite a few, so I'm not gonna give them all in this video. But it's about 18 stories, and me and my daughter went through and picked the first three that I was gonna tell tonight. So thank you, dear, if she ever watches this video. You know your kids don't watch it, but don't like to watch it. But um, here we go. We're gonna go with these picks. All right, now all these different stories I'm about to tell you, um, let's just say the ancestors was there. I believe I had. These are times that my guardian angel stepped up huge. My guardian angels, my ancestors, my protectors. This is the time when they stepped up huge, very huge. One of the first times I can remember. I'm sorry, I forgot to pick up the mic. Okay. One of the very first times I can remember is being in junior. And in junior high, I was sixth grade. We used to go to the gym in the morning. Y'all know how it go before school started. Everybody get there, you eat your breakfast, whatever, and hang out in the gym until you get the bell to go to class. Well, this particular day, I was sitting at the top bleachers, waiting for my next, to get up and play. And the bleachers was probably one, two, three, four, five, maybe six rows high. Junior high is one of its biggest high school gyms, but I would say I was about six rows high, sitting on the top. And right behind the top bleacher, there were a little room where you could get to the gym windows to open them up to let air in, so these fans could circulate. And little did I know, there were a couple of guys behind me messing with these windows. So I'm sitting there watching the guys play basketball on the floor, waiting for my time to play, when all of a sudden I feel this, I can remember this hard vibration. That's what it felt like. And heat. And that was it. Next thing I know, I was opening my eyes up on the floor of the gym with my eyes looking straight up at the ceiling. I'm looking at the Raptors in the gym. And as I begin to get my marbles together, I look around and I'm surrounded by the entire junior high looking at me like they thought I was dead. And I can remember, uh, I believe it was a coach that came and grabbed me really quick, and they was trying to get me to stand. But I remember being so dizzy and out of it that I couldn't even get up right away. Now, I'm not understanding what happened to me yet. I'm just trying to do what they're asking me. So as they wait on me to get up to my feet, they tell me, "All right, come on, go with me." So I'm trying to follow them, but it's like everything is just doing like this at this point. And you know how the halls are made when you get out of the gym. They got these little tin covers with the little post down the side for the rain to wash out. And there's a brick to the school over here. So I'm having to walk and lean on this wall because I'm so out of it, but I don't understand why. And then this coach that's helping me, supposedly, is walking so far ahead of me that, if I do fall, he won't even notice until he get where he going and I'm not there. But finally, we make it to this nurse's office. And I get inside and I was so glad to see this bed because that's all I wanted to do was lay down. I felt so bad. And so they let me go in there and they allow me to lay on the mat. But I'm not asleep, I'm laying there. And I hear the coach tell the nurse, I don't know. I think he's okay. But one of the kids were playing with the window in the gym and made the pane fall out. And it came down from the top and landed and hit me across the back of my neck and my head area and knocked me from the top of the bleachers. And they said I just tumbled all the way down to the floor and rolled and just laid out. And, you know, now knowing what happened as an adult, I just had a serious concussion. You ain't supposed to make a person lay down right after being hit in the head real hard. I had just been knocked out cold, and the coach didn't even want to touch me because at this time I was going to a predominantly one race school, and they wasn't too fond of my kind, if you get what I'm saying. So he wasn't even wanting to put his hands on me to help me to the nurse's office. But that day, I'll never forget, and I definitely had my ancestors watching over me and taking care of me that day. Okay, here we go. Now, this next story is about a time when I was at work with one of my partners, and we were coming down the interstate, and there was a lot of rain coming down, and we was in this box truck. Let me take these off. And we was in this box truck, um, and the box was built onto the truck, so it was like one unit. So it wasn't like a big long 18 wheeler with a gooseneck and nothing. It was just like a short box truck, but it had the big long frontage. So it had a big cab and everything in it. And um, we was coming from Shreveport back to Texas on this particular trip. And while we was coming back, it began to rain really hard. I'm talking about real hard to the point where the wipers were on high, but you still couldn't really see. And it was getting dark. So, me and my partner on the way back, and I was like saying, we was beginning to talk about we should pull over maybe because this is getting pretty bad. Um, folks, because he was a good driver, we was more worried about other people, so we was like, maybe we should stop before somebody knock us off the road. That was our thoughts. So as we was waiting for the next good exit to come off that we could pull off for, all of a sudden, this truck in front of us does something weird. So he has to kind of slow the truck and get over into the next lane. And when he does, the tire on the back of our truck pops. When it pops, it peels and flaps. And while it flaps, it's slapping the bottom of the box truck real hard. Doom, 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 doom. So by this point, we realized we done had a flat. So he's like slowing down, easing over, and we got about we had probably had about a mile before this next exit. But he gets over on the shoulder, and I mean we're on a crawl on the way to this gas station. And once we get there and pull up into the gas station, I look to check the flat, and he comes around, and we notice, oh, it done blew out. So that noise we heard was the flap slamming the box truck. So made, it was like, okay, cool. We'll just call somebody to come get us. And as we making more inspection, we noticed that one of the things that happened was the brake line had got hit by this tire and had bent it to a 45-degree angle and almost snatched it out of the thread. So that's another day that I know my ancestors and the angels was watching over me. So I'm going to give you this last one. Now, this last one may sound very, very, very unbelievable, but trust me, every story that I have told you in my sagas are true. And I might even do a couple of phone calls and let some of these relatives verify. But this particular one, I can't have her to verify herself. God bless her and rest her soul. She's moved on to the other side. But there was a time when we used to always go to see my aunt and my cousins up in Dallas. And we would travel, load up in the car. Back then you didn't even have to wear seatbelts. It wasn't even a law. And I remember we used to fight over who gets to sit by the window. No one's even caring about that now because they're watching their phones. But we were so into wanting to see what was going on outside that we would fight to sit by the window. But we loved going to see our family up in Dallas. And whenever we would do it, it was always a planned trip. So you knew weeks out. So it was one of those things that every week you would count down 1 more week. We're going up to D Town. A few more days, we're going up to D Town. So, we just getting excited about going to go see family. Well, it is Friday. No, it is Thursday night because we were going to leave on Friday morning. This Thursday night, when I go to sleep, I have a dream. It was so vivid, I can still tell you the dream right now. The dream starts with us on the interstate. And at this time, we was in a white LeSabre. I think it was like an 87 with a burgundy interior. And my stepdad had put this radio deck inside that had these red lights on it that would do these type of readings on it and make these little designs, which was pretty cool back then because we were just coming from cassettes. Uh, no, yeah, we were coming from 8-track to cassette in the cars. Some of y'all may have to look that up to see what that is. But I can remember this so vividly. The tape deck had these EQ lights on it. So in the dream, we're coming up the interstate. My grandmother's sitting beside me right here. My brothers are sitting on the other side of me right here. And in the front seat was my mother. And then on the driver's side was my stepdad. And my aunt was in the car also. And we're coming up this part of this freeway and we're getting around all these cars. And I remember in the dream my grandmother saying, "You need to slow down, bro. Slow down, bro." And he was saying, "All right, mother, just let me pass this last truck." He put his signal on to go around at this truck that had this trailer on it. And as he came around in front of it, it bumped the back of us, made the car go squirrely. And I remember looking at the deck. It seemed like it was in slow motion. At the deck, my mom, the back of the seat, over to my grandmother, to the window behind me, and this black 18-wheeler was pushing us. And when I turned back around, we was the overpass over the interstate we were coming up on. We were coming at this embankment, and I'm talking about fast and hard. And right before we slammed into the concrete wall, I wake up. Boom. When I wake up, it's in the morning, but that ain't even what I'm thinking of. I wake up, I jump straight out of bed. I don't even fix my clothes and nothing. I spin around, jump out my bed, and I run straight to my mom, and they still in the bed. As I come in there, I notice that my stepdad is on the phone, but I want to talk to him and my mom, but it's hitting me so big, I can't wait. I just started talking. I said, "Hey, look, we can't go to Dallas." And my mom was like, "Why? Why not? If we go, we're going to have a bad wreck. A black 18-wheeler will run us off the road into an embankment." And when I say that, my stepdad grabs his phone, because it wasn't a cell phone back then, it was the house phone with the cord. He grabs the bottom of it and he pulls it down and he said, "What did you just say?" And so I tell him again, I say, "We can't go, because if we do, this 18-wheeler, it's a black 18-wheeler, it's going to hit us and knock us into this embankment. And I don't think we're going to make it." And he says, "Sue," that's my mom's name, "why is my sister on the phone with me telling me the exact same thing right now? She woke up straight from her dream that she had, that she got a call that we had been killed in a car accident and hit by a black 18-wheeler. Now, the chances of that happening like that, being coincidence and to be ignored, my entire family up in Dallas was upset at me for a while because it was that big for us to come. But we didn't go. And I think I'm telling you this story right now because we didn't go. But until next time, y'all, be safe. Love your love and love those who need love. Peace and love to the globe. All right? I'm out.